Hey. We're back at it with another great, wonderful live stream coming towards for y'all. I hope so. Anyways, if y'all had a bad week, prayers for y'all. Hey, and before without further ado, we gotta talk about it. Thanks to all the players out there, for Mariah and for myself and for Alex. I'm doing a lot better. I'm not 100% back to normal yet. I still have some allergy issues going on, but we are here. So that means that has been approved. So thank you for that. But don't forget to pray for everyone that does content because hey, it's work, y'all. If you do content, you would know that it's work involved, and prayer is that we can all be encouraged through all this. So, welcome TJ, welcome Mariah. How are y'all this evening?
Doing great. Doing great. Glad to be back. Glad that you guys are back on the mend. I know you both were having some health issues, and so I'm happy that we're back here for another Thursday. How you doing, Mariah?
I'm doing okay tonight, y'all. I'm glad to be back as well. Still kind of dealing with some of the issues I was having before, but not necessarily as bad. I'm experiencing some pretty bad pressure headaches, and I'm currently awaiting a neurology appointment to follow up. But otherwise, glad to be back and happy to see y'all.
Great. We're
Hey, it's
glad
awesome.
you're back with us.
Yeah, and for those that are still praying, keep praying for Mariah and the doctors and everything, and they can figure it out. Thanks again for being here, everyone. Um, and if you have questions for us, like I always say, put that vibes aquatics in front of it that we can catch it. Because sometimes the chat was way too fast, and I missed a lot of your comments, so I'm sorry for that. But anyways, um, you know what? Did that? I'm gonna go check on the poll. I put a poll in the. Did it work? Did the poll I put in earlier work okay?
Mm,
I put it in before the live stream started.
I don't know. Let's see. Uh, it says there's 20 votes.
Okay. I started. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes yet, and I'm gonna end that poll. And then, this is about the topic. So if you haven't missed the topic, y'all, uh, it's in the info below the. It says more below the live. Hashtag 31 more, and then there's a topic and tells you all about that. So if you missed that, I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the big screen. How about that? That way, those watching replay don't have to really look into it. How do you make this hobby less stressful? And while you're thinking about that, y'all, I'm gonna go over to the participation list on fishhound.link. For those that don't know, it's a great way to communicate and to find fellow hobbyists. Those that are live streaming, those that do content, and there's a calendar over there as well that tell you who all is going live and when. Uh, for those that do regular scheduled live streams. And I did see that Foxy is here with the viewers. Welcome, y'all. Hopefully, you had a great time over there. I did. Um, we got Shady Grady, Big Steve. Welcome, Big Steve. Curl Works, Fishy on Tactics, 3G, Melvin, Elfish, MS Aquascaping, Jeff Kane, Too Cooley for Schooly, Skull Quacks, Big Tank Hank. Hey, Big Tank Hank. Welcome. Nancy B, Red Laser, Big Cat, Dennis Christensen, Eduardo, and Long Hammer Show. Linda Worth, welcome. Awesome, y'all. And Big Steve, you did ask a question. I want to answer it. Guys, did you get the fish? How did they do? I did, Big Steve. I got him. and they're doing good. I will message you later, Big Steve, about that, all that. So yeah, I'm blown away. So
And I saw that our friend MS Aquascaping is coming in from Bangkok.
oh wow,
So seems like on holiday from Singapore to Thailand. So thanks for being here as usual, and consider me extremely jealous that you're checking out Thailand.
Also
Level One
jealous.
fans, UK, welcome.
What you got, Mariah?
I said I'm also jealous. That sounds like an amazing place to be.
I have not been to Thailand, but it is on the list.
Unfortunately, I have yet to travel outside of the country at all yet. So.
So I'm just making sure I didn't miss any. Hey, Red Laser, welcome. Make sure I didn't miss any questions. I don't. Before we get into the deep topic, because once you get there, there's no going back. Oh.
I also want to say hi to Michael Long, Family Show. Michael Long, he is. I call him my neighbor. He lives in the next town over. Had an opportunity to meet him at the Clash last year, so I just always like to shout him out when I see him.
Yeah,
He's
actually,
a very local guy.
Yeah, I would love to meet him as well. I was not expecting to see everyone there at the Clash. Hey, Outside Aquatics, welcome. Hey, y'all, to make my hobby less stressful, I chose to stay home instead of make plans to go to any swaps this weekend. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? I think it gives you more time to focus, which I think is one of those things that I think we all probably struggle with at different points in time in our hobby. And also it eliminates the need to plan for new acquisitions that maybe you weren't sure where they were going to go. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Keep it simple, right?
I like it. And this is a personal question. I mean, it's the reason we bringing it up just to talk about it that way. Those getting into the hobby or don't know how to release the stress that maybe is building up. Hopefully tonight, a topic we can discuss that, and so maybe someone will get an answer how to make it less stressful. For me, probably one way to make it less stressful would be to talk to others about it. That's why I'm here, I'm talking to y'all. And basically, and communicate with y'all, and talking about it does help a lot. Like the other evening, I was telling Mike, look Austin, that doing a maintenance on aquariums on a live stream makes it less stressful, and you're more apt to stay responsible and actually do it.
So for you, having the community around you is helpful.
Yes. It keeps me, like I'm saying, it keeps me responsible to actually do the work that needs to be done.
Yep.
I think
How
that's
about
a
you,
good
TJ?
place.
Yeah, so I've got a list of things. I did wanna just say I just saw Jeff put in the chat the best way to make all hobbies and life in general less stressful is to avoid social media. I've got one on my list which I'll get to later that kind of can walk down that path. So I can absolutely appreciate where he's coming from on that. But the first one that I think really helps me is routines.
Yeah.
Having a routine for me is very helpful, and that is everything from my feeding routine, where I've talked a little bit about that before on the stream, where I make it a plan where I will feed tank by tank, and I stop just for a couple of minutes and I look everything over. and I just
Mhm.
look to see, is there anything that's off kilter? Do I have any, fish or other animals that are looking strange? Are my plants looking healthy? I spend a lot of time, basically every day that I feed, which is most of the days throughout the week. Every once in a while, I do skip to fast the fish,
Mhm.
but in general, that's a daily thing. I think it's that. I think it's routines also around maintenance. And so for me, I've been, I think, again, pretty clear talking about the fact that I am every 2 weeks typically doing a water change. And that's just something that I know and I build into my schedule. And it takes a lot of the thought process around it out of the equation, right? I know that that's something that I'm going to do, and I find the time that I can dedicate to do that, and it's just is kind of the part of my normal, day to day from a life perspective. So I feel like that really helps making it so that those things are more automatic, and I don't have to think about it, and I don't have to necessarily kind of motivate myself to do those things.
Right.
I think you have to have some level of motivation, but if it's not something you do routinely, I feel like it's easier to kind of fall out of that, and to jump back into it, I think can be more of a challenge. So I really like to just set it up so that it's something that I automatically am programmed to just do.
Mhm. Welcome in, Jeremy. Welcome in, Stephen White. I agree with 100%. Routine is a big thing. Hey, for those that don't know, when I do my tank maintenance videos, if you've been watching regularly maintenance videos, you'll see I do the same thing every single time.
Hmm.
It makes it, hey, at the top of the sentence, less stressful
Hmm.
because stress can build up fast if you forget to turn something back on when you do maintenance.
Mm.
A camera
Yeah,
switch,
no, you're right.
power back, a wave maker, etc.
Hmm. Yeah,
Or
you're
if you
right.
or if you get to the water off when you're filling up the tank
Hmm.
because you didn't do it in a routine or every time.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that definitely helps.
No. That's not routine, Scott. No.
You need to flood a tank to make it entertaining.
That'd be
Uh,
entertaining for y'all.
I was gonna say that may help the viewers out vibes greatly, but you then have to deal with the aftermath.
Right, right. And hey, Skull, we're talking about being less stressful, not making it more stressful tonight. That would be adding to the more stressful.
That is an important distinction.
Yeah. But Skull, I appreciate you thinking though. He's definitely thinking in the right direction.
Listen, from a content quality perspective, his head is totally in the right spot.
Right. I flooded tanks once a month at least when I was doing water changes. Jeremy.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
had
I
a
definitely.
5-gallon bucket overflow once in a tiled kitchen floor, and I just about lost it. I can't imagine having a flooded tank like multiple times. I'd lose it. Go ahead, Mariah.
Imagine having an entire store system of tanks overflowing on you overnight.
I think you told that
Ooh.
story before, and it wasn't great.
Mm-mm. Lots of
Mm-mm.
fish on the floor.
Lots of fish on the floor. Oh no.
Water on the floor too, but lots of fish. Lots of
Lots of fish.
expensive fish.
Ooh, yep.
Nah,
That
sad.
unfortunately that same floor was very heavily mopped with bleach water the night before.
Yikes. That's terrible.
But no, I definitely agree with you as far as I agree with both of you as far as the routine aspect and having the community just kind of keep you accountable and the routine absolutely because I mean, they say it takes 21 days to develop a habit, right? So
Yeah.
if you're just starting out in the hobby, a lot of times most people are going to have a lot of issues, a lot of things that are not routine within that first 21 days, that first couple of months, however, or however long. So once they've gotten past that point and are able to establish that routine and reach out to a community, I think those are very big important things. But another thing I think from another aspect would be just education, educating yourself as much as possible, um, finding out as much knowledge as you can, because the more you know, the more prepared you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that just ties all into what I was about to say in general, being prepared. Prepare yourself with knowledge, prepare yourself with whatever hardware or chemicals that you may or may not need in the event that you may be in a stressful situation. Because
Mm-hmm.
in reality, most times this hobby is not stressful unless you have a tank crash or something mysterious happens in the tank, or just all these crazy random things that can happen. You get a random disease in your tank you've never seen before. Or God forbid, a hair allergy that won't go away. And it's
Oh,
just
that
very
gives me
frustrating.
nightmares.
Right. And being prepared about it, whether it be knowledge or actual physical things that can help you in whatever situation that you are in. Perfect example, when I had a situation with my electricity not too long ago, the what's the thing called? The breaker box. Something was messed up with the breaker box and our power was out. I was not prepared. I did not have battery backups. Thankfully, Alex from Fathom Aquatics did and was able to help me out there.
Mm-hmm.
But situations like that are very stressful. And you're like, oh no, oh my God, what am I going to do? My fish, they have no way to get air. They have no oxygen circulating in their tank. You know, especially when you have no idea how long it's going to be before it comes back on.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, they'll be okay for a couple hours, 6, 7, 8 hours, maybe all day. But the longer they sit in the water with no filtration and no air circulation, we all know what happens, and the more stress they get. So situations like that are a perfect example as to why being prepared just overall is a huge thing to make it much less stressful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just knowing what your game plan is when some situation that's out of the norm strikes. That I think is really important, and being able to understand, okay, what are the essential things to do? Is it a disease that I need to medicate? Is it something that I need to do to quarantine? Is it a situation like you bring up, Mariah, where your power goes out? And what are those essential things that I need to provide for the fish and at what time? And having
Right.
that sort of plan in place to be able to deal with it, I think is really important. So I think it's a great point that you bring
Mhm.
out, that it behooves us all to sort of take the time. Steve says it right here. Contingency plans are crucial. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yes.
Just like we talk about, I'm sure you've all heard, or, maybe when you were younger, your family had an emergency plan. If God
Mhm.
forbid something happens, maybe your house starts burning or whatever, you've got an emergency plan and you know where to meet outside the home, that kind of a thing. Different scenario, but it's a similar thinking where you're going to have an emergency plan on, if this happens, this is my set of steps that I'm going to go follow in order to try and deal with it.
Right. No, I
Jeremy
like
says my contingency plan is to call Steve.
that. Hey, that's not a bad thing. Have someone in your backup plan that you can get a hold of pretty fast, and they're available at any moment. You know, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it
if
was
it's just
definitely
for
very lucky that
emotional support.
Alex was available.
Yeah, that worked out really, really well because
Mhm.
you needed some help, and thankfully he was right there to give you what you needed, and everything ended up turning out fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, here's my encouragement for y'all. This side note: try to become part of a fish club, local fish club, or try to get to know your fellow local fish keepers, if possible. I mean, within like 20 minutes of you, try to meet them up at local fish stores. You know, hang out with them, ask questions. You know, just get to know who's around you that's keeping fish. That one day they might need your help, or you might need their help. So yeah, that's a great thing to do.
Anytime I see somebody at PetSmart or any other pet store, and they're like purchasing fish keeping items, like a big filter replacement, or just larger items, something that's going to be very obviously for something bigger, like a 10-gallon tank. I'm always very, very nosy, and I'm going up to them like, "Hey, what kind of fish you got? What you got? What you got? What you got? What kind of tank you got? What kind of fish you got?
Mm-hmm.
What else you gonna get?" And I very much enjoy talking to other people out and about, whether it's online or just out in public, about the type of fish they keep or animals in general that they keep. It's very interesting. It's a really good way to get to know the community around you. Just talking to people. Be nosy. Be a little bit more nosy about the right things.
Right. Hey, good night, Eduardo. Thanks for stopping in. Have a great shower, bro.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you gotta. If you're in the hobby, you're very weird. So why not try to find other people that are just as weird as you are?
Mhm.
Now, a lot of us are introverts, so think about that. It's harder for some of us to talk to strangers, you know. So think about that, and maybe be the person that, even though you're an introvert, be an extrovert at that time.
I love it.
You
Shady
got-
Grady Mike said, "Watch your keyboard, Eduardo. Your cap lock button is stuck on."
um, uh,
Love it. Good job, Mike. That explains it.
uh-huh. And one of those keyboards very sticky.
Oh God.
You got
Nope. 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 Nope.
no. I think we lost her, y'all.
PG,
Look,
PG, 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 PG. This is PG. PG.
Oh no, I got the
all right.
hiccups. Oh no.
Welcome in, Jesse. Welcome in, Holly Hill Design. Welcome in, Stephen P. I'm late. No, you Stephen, you're good.
Hmm.
By the way, y'all, I stopped the poll about did y'all do something today to make your hobby less stressful? 60% said no, 39% said yes. So thank you for answering that. I'll be honest with you, I definitely did something to make it less stressful today. I went live.
Mm-hmm.
I got to talk with y'all. Hey, quick side note. I was trying to get my tank on camera for y'all tonight, but my phone was not having it. I think it was having a bad day. My phone was. So now I'm going to show y'all this the Molly tank, the wild Molly. There is like 50 babies in there swimming around. It's crazy, and the male is definitely. Okay, by the way, these are sylphin mollies. The male,
Yep.
his color is popping. His fins are flared. He is doing. Yeah, he's trying to impress all the girls in the tank, y'all. It's phenomenal. I'm actually impressed myself watching it all happen right in front of my eyes. It's kind of cool.
I
Anyway,
think Curtis is very excited to hear this news because he is
Yes.
waiting for some to show up on his doorstep.
I did something to make the hobby less stressful today.
go ahead.
I looked at my tank. I just sat there and
Nice.
watched it.
Yep.
And honestly, guys, I feel like, again, I think this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier is once you kind of get past the ugly phase, so to speak, when you're first starting out in the hobby and you kind of get your footing in it, I don't really believe our hobby is that stressful unless you have a very specific situation that may occur. Our hobby is really designed to make your life and everything in general less stressful. There's fish tank, doctor's office waiting rooms, or dentist
Yep.
office,
Mm-hmm.
or attorney's offices. All very uncomfortable, very stressful situations. And there sits a fish tank.
Mm-hmm.
So
Steven
I don't
said
know, I
sometimes
think
we
just being
forget to
part of
stop
the
and just
hobby.
watch the friggin' tanks.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yes.
exactly. Sometimes we're just so busy looking for stuff like, oh, is everything good? Is this? Because a lot of us are very routine in that. That's part of what we do. We're looking for something specific instead of just sitting back, enjoying it and looking.
Right.
Yep.
Like Steven says, when things are going well, we tend to raise the stakes. Yes. They tend to say, what's wrong? What's wrong with it? Let's do something different with it.
That was one of the things that was on my list as well.
Ooh.
Yep. Is just to relax. Don't look for the problems that aren't there and enjoy it. And stop trying to optimize. Right. There's always, I think, this, and it goes back to, I think, the point that Jeff made earlier about, kind of the impact of social media that it can have on you. You've got people who have all sorts of different ways of doing things, and it's easy to get compelled into, oh gosh, well, let me try that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, remember, I had told a story before of maybe 10-year-old me who thought, oh, I've got African cichlids, I need to raise the pH, and I put one of those pH up discs in the tank.
Right.
Oh no.
Terrible. No fish died, it was fine, but it wasn't good, right? I mean, it raised it at such a high level and so fast, it was ridiculous. And so they were better off the way they were, but I had this idea in my head. Granted, I was like 10 years old, so
Right.
it's not like I did it last week, but that's, to me, I think that is something that we are still susceptible to. And so I think, yeah, it's finding those things that don't always be looking for the problems, because a lot of the time it's not there. Things are usually just going well. You need to be observant, but I think we decide we want to mess with stuff too much.
Right. A lot of the times, the problem is usually us. Those of us that are in the hobby. Like outside the corner says, relax, don't do it. When you want it, go do it. Exactly. Welcome in, Night Owl.
Those are song lyrics, yeah.
Yeah. I just saw it. The pH was so high. 5,000
fish walking on the water. Oh, Mike, that was a bad day. That was I wasn't sure what the heck to do. Thankfully, my father, who really wasn't a fish keeper, but he kind of became one kind of because of me. He jumped into action and did a water change, and I think saved the fish. But it was, that wasn't great.
Big Steve says the hobby is as stressful as you make it to be. Too many things to keep up with equals stressful. Pinch pennies on cheap gear, stressful. Don't quarantine, stressful. These are great points, Big Steve.
I don't know if y'all caught Salient back there a minute ago said 3 big points for more efficiency and reducing stress. Get rid of the waste. Only keep what you need. Meds, better to have it and not need it, etc. And have the right tools for the job. That's perfect.
Those are great, Jesse.
If nothing else, have a bucket available.
Yep.
We
Hashtag
always
bucket.
need one of them. Hashtag bucket.
Always need a bucket. Always need hose.
I wasn't going there tonight. Welcome in, everyone.
Y'all trying to break me so hard tonight, and it ain't gonna happen.
There's time yet, Mariah. Just wait. Making video and staying fresh. Yeah.
These are normally ecosystems that, if set properly, need extremely little upkeep. It's only stressful if you make it that way.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yep. I think we are the ones that tend to add a lot of the stress by overthinking, overdoing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Right. I mean, there's been a lot of people that I've seen that will go into a store and be freaking out because they had 1 or 2 fish die in a tank that's been running for a very long time. And the fish are about 5 or 6 years old, way older than they should be. I mean, these are like tiger barbs and tetras, you know what I mean? Like not koi that have 40-year lifespan, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like you have to kind of remind people that these things happen. You don't have to test your water or do all this crazy stuff and oh my God, what's happening to my fish just die sometimes. And sometimes we have no idea why. Sometimes you get a perfectly healthy fish and you put it in a very good, well-established tank with perfect parameters. Sometimes they just die. And stressing over something like that, as opposed to obviously recognizing that something is going on with your tank overall that's affecting either many fish at a time or something in a water test is coming up, that is the only time that I think you should really start to stress, if anything. But yeah, that's totally right. The only time that it's really stressful is when we add to it, when we make it so.
Yep, I think that's right.
If you share on social media, there will always be someone to find a problem for you. Definitely let you know when you're wrong with loss of reported literature.
Yep.
Yes, Kenny.
And I like Steven's comment about making change just to stay kind of fresh and relevant. I think that was sometimes it compels people, social media, to make things complicated by constantly taking on projects primarily for the sake of making a video and staying fresh. Yeah. I think that's it adds an extra layer of complexity, and so I think that also adds in sort of the social pressures, right? So you got the pressure of the hobby, the pressure of doing things, and you've also then got the pressure of now you're trying to kind of keep up with other people or what is popular, things like that. So yeah.
Hey Sonny, welcome. So
hey, Sonny.
So should we be encouraging the community or the hobbyists to have 1 tank or 2 tanks and that's it? And if you want to get a new species, fish that you already have, sell it or trade it in or give it to a buddy before you get another fish?
Absolutely not. I don't think so. I think I think it really depends on the amount of time that that person or individual has to dedicate to the maintenance of the tanks. And again, once you get your tanks to a situation other than, or basically once you get them to all self-sufficiency, then it doesn't, you don't have to worry about it. It's just another tank. All it is one more water change at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is the part that people have to exercise their own level of self-control
Mhm.
and decide what is acceptable, what are they able to keep up with, versus what makes it too difficult. I don't know that I would encourage anybody to do it one particular way. I think it's pace yourself. I think is the
Right.
first thing. You know, I would go out, and if you're new to the hobby, get the first tank and then sort of sit with it for a little while and see what happens. And okay, if that's easy enough to take care of, then you can think about, do you want more, or are there other things going on in your life that are taking up time that you won't have to dedicate the same amount of time? Because you have to think about, it's not an exact, but within reason, whatever time you're spending on the first tank, you're going to have to spend the same amount of time on the second one. So do you have double the time? Do you have triple the time? Do you have 4 times the time, right? And making sure that you feel comfortable with that being a regular part of your life. So I don't know. I don't think I'd encourage anybody to do anything in particular, other than just make sure that they really are taking the time to consider it.
Yes. Welcome
Definitely.
in, Jim.
Take the time to consider and just be aware of what you think you can handle.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, Jim made a good point. In between water changes, I skip the tanks over and over. So if you want to change, maybe just change the way your tank escaped.
Mm-hmm.
But like you already know, Vibes has plenty of tanks. So how can I do something to y'all if I can't do it myself? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
That's right. That's right.
You got anything
I
else for
think
us,
that
TJ?
comes. Sorry, I was just gonna say that I think with the whole multiple tanks thing, that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier about having a routine.
Mhm.
Yes.
A lot of people I know that do have multiple tanks. There are some tanks that are set up for specific water changes or specific maintenance type things on some days of the week, and then other tanks that are set up for others. Which for some people that may be a better way to kind of the workload of doing those water changes and maintenance. However, I feel like if you do have multiples, multiples meaning 2 or more, obviously, um, I think it would be more beneficial to dedicate one single day to get all of it done and out of the way, have that routine of that day.
Mm-hmm.
And that way it opens up the rest of your time throughout the rest of the week to just enjoy your tanks and do small things here and there, like top offs or whatever you need to do throughout the weeks or throughout the month, depending on how often your water changes are.
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of think about what the best way for everybody. For me, I tend to split them up a little bit, right? Like maybe a few on one day, a few on the next day, and that just kind of works for me in a lot of cases. But I've also done it in another way, like what you're saying, Mariah, where my schedule has just been such that I get them all done on one day. So I think that's probably the only part of it that I don't do as a routine, because I try and just fit it in where I can. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be on a weekend, so I've got only a couple of days to choose from. But Yeah, I think it's whatever would make it easier and a more palatable thing, I think is important to know about yourself. And that's a big part of this is kind of being a little bit introspective and really thinking about what are the things that you need to do to make it easier on you as an individual. Just because I do it one way doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
Right. And Hagen says, as for us, we need organization. That's my biggest stress in the hobby.
Mhm.
Talking about physical clutter. That is
Yes.
definitely a big one. 'Cause, I mean, a lot of fish keepers do have large filters or canister filters that are going to be occupying the space underneath the tank typically.
Yes.
So where do you put a lot of the stuff that you need to maintain the tank if you don't have a lot of extra storage in your own?
Steven says the biggest stress for him is when he doesn't get the opportunity or literally just not mentally feeling it to do the maintenance when he would normally prefer to do it. Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's another one that's really an important consideration as far as if you are someone who likes to do a regular water change weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the schedule is that works, and then you don't get to do it, I also get to a point where I feel kind of a little bit guilty. Now, have
Yeah.
my fish ever truly suffered because maybe I put it off a week? No, I don't think that's true, right?
Right.
But it's one of those where I do feel like that I keep them at a certain standard, and when I don't do that, I know that I'm not at that standard. Again, I've not done any scientific testing to say, was that a problem? Nothing looked any different. They didn't act any different, right? I'm sure 1 week's difference probably made no difference to the fish whatsoever, but it's more mentally, I think, for me.
Big Cat says I keep tanks under my tanks.
Keep tanks under my tanks.
There you go. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Hey, welcome in, Ross. Good to see you.
I think one of the other things that was go ahead, Vibes, if you
I
want.
just want to read Steven's comment. Physical
Yep.
clutter is a huge issue too. I say way too much scrap. I have 8 spare sponges that I don't even like. Why do I still have them? True. That's a good example. If you have something that you don't even like, maintenance tools or whatever, equipment, get rid of it or give it to someone else.
Hmm.
Um, Now, if you do like it and you want backup, yeah, keep it. But if you don't like it, you're not going to use it, get rid of it.
Yep.
Good point, Steven. Go ahead, BJ.
I wanted to say hi to Ross. I don't know if you saw that Ross jumped in
Hey,
here.
Ross, welcome.
So welcome. I wanted to bring up another point that I had written down here on my list of equipment choices that take work away or make use simple.
Hmm.
So for me, it's a Python. Eliminates the use of buckets and makes it much simpler. I can put the hose out into the backyard, and it automatically just drains. I don't have to worry about lugging anything anywhere. When I'm done, I hook it back up to the sink, and it automatically then it goes right back and it fills the tank. I think the other one for me is, and I've talked about this before, but I really like the Fluval lights
Mhm.
and the interface. For me, the app is simple to use. It works. The lights seem to be of good quality. I've had luck with the ones I've got. For me, yes, they probably are more expensive than a lot of the other options, but it works, and I don't have to think about it. And it's set it and forget it, and we move on with life. And so for me, I think it's about finding those little products as well that just they do that. And they're easy to use. And if I need to interact with them in some way, it's not, I don't have to pull out a manual. I don't have to think about that. I don't have to do all sorts of programming and resetting. It's ready to go. And so for me, I think that's another thing that really makes my hobby easy for me.
Mhm. So basically, what you're saying is keeping it simple as possible.
Simple. I think it's simple. I think it's predictable. I think it's eliminating non-value added parts of the work. I get no benefit to my fish by lugging a bucket. Right? There's no difference to them whether I move a bucket and dump out water or I take my python and throw it out the back door into the yard. To them, a water change is a water change. It does not make a difference. It's not like I'm making a choice that's impacting anything. And so I think that yeah, so I think for me, it's where are those areas that I'm not making a difference in any parts of my hobby, and how do I eliminate that? And so I think that that's really something that I try to do in little ways that I can. June said you forgot to add how fun it is to play around the app.
Yes.
Yeah, although I will tell you, June, I tend to be the novice user. I program it on the auto setting and I kind of leave it alone. I'm not one that goes in and plays with probably a lot of the capabilities that are in there. You're right. I think they're extremely capable and there's a lot of different things that you can go in and do. But for me, the simplicity is what I really, really love.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned something about stop using the bucket method, but depends on the tank. For myself, a bucket method is still what I use occasionally. Say, for instance, this tank right here, the Mollies. That tank, what I've been doing was just taking a little water off the top of the tank. I probably wouldn't have to, and adding fresh water to it. Doing water change that way. Because the pump that I use for my big tanks, it's like 1,500 gallons per hour pump.
Yep. You'd empty that tank in about 30 seconds.
Yeah. And there's babies in this tank. So I don't want to suck the babies up.
Fair enough.
Carl said buckets reduce overflow by 100%.
But what about the times where you overflow the bucket, Riva? I have absolutely done that.
Hey, reduces tank over. Disclaimer, that says reduces tank overflow by 100%.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with the math. I'm just saying it's moving the problem.
What if you got a bucket with wheels on it?
Well, the wheels don't prevent it from overflowing.
But it makes it easier to move.
It'll help you stop from spilling it.
Oh, because you could push it? Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah, June says bucket overflow happens. She's darn right it does. I have had the terror of the pitter patter of water hitting the tile floor and instantly knew exactly what it was and ran like heck to just stop the madness from happening.
Gosh.
If you can't use the bucket and go with the pump, y'all.
I'm not saying I never tripped while carrying a bucket.
Yeah. The sad part is I can picture what that looks like, and that's terrible. I mean, that's
at one of my stores one day, I did a water change on the system, and we have to refill the sumps. Well, we had these large 50-gallon rubber, 50-gallon or 100-gallon, I don't know, they were the huge Rubbermaid garbage cans. Okay, I'm pushing it back out after filling it back up to take it out there, and we use smaller buckets to dip into the can to pour into the sump. Well, as I'm coming around the corner, I didn't see a cat toy on the floor, and it caught the wheel of the bucket, this gigantic trash can full of water, and over went the whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah, the floor of that store was significantly saturated many a time.
I mean, like I'm talking like a 5-gallon bucket, and it probably overflowed for 10 seconds. It maybe was a gallon of water, and I was beside myself. Like like one of those big brute or Rubbermaid gas. The oh my god, that's like 55 gallons, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, like the gigantic
Oh,
trash can that you see at Office Depot.
oh,
Yeah,
Mhm.
oh,
it was absolutely.
that's craziness.
Oh, it had a lid. It had a lid. The lid came off. The bucket went over. It hit the floor. Lid came off.
Yep. Oh god. I saw Nancy said she's overflowed more buckets than tanks. Yep, count me into that category.
I did put a poll in the comments, y'all. Thought it'd be interesting. Did you ever trip or carry a bucket? And it's pretty simple. Yes or no?
Yes.
Not fish related. No,
No?
I mean I've certainly tripped while carrying a bucket. Yes, but like thank God usually it's like outside and I'm, either washing the car or something inconsequential happens, right?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, using lids definitely helps. Hey, MNC, welcome.
Stephen White says, "Gotta love concrete floors with a floor drain and a sink in your fish room." If I had all those things, I would absolutely love it. Yes.
I didn't do it, but my stepdad did. He tripped coming down the steps to mom's house carrying a bucket of catfish that I was getting ready to skin and gut and prepare to cook. He almost tripped. He didn't, thank goodness, but he almost tripped.
Oh gosh. Oh, Steven says in his first month as a fish keeper, he was draining water into the sink using the Python faucet attachment. Didn't realize the sink drain was plugged until the water was started creeping out into the hallway.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh, awful. Just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, just like Night Owl says, that sounds great. I'm on carpet. Me too.
The carpet's clean though.
No, it's not.
No, it's like
If
a
you have
swamp
ever
carpet.
had your carpet
vibes.
get wet, if you have ever had a carpet get wet in a house, that is the worst thing ever. Because no matter what you do, no matter what you spray, no matter what you put on it, no matter how many times you steam clean it, that padding underneath is going to stay moisturized, and it is going to sit there and stink and grow mold and mildew, and it's just nasty. You have got to get that padding replaced, or at the very least get the carpet pulled up from the padding and get industrial fans in there and get it as dry as possible.
Yeah,
But
all
if
bad
it's dirty
stuff.
fish water, you may as well just rip up the carpet and padding and just have it replaced.
Just sell the
Even
house
if
and
it's dry,
move.
it still stinks.
I mean, good God.
I mean, imagine the smell of Seachem Prime just wafting in your face every time you open up your door when you get home from work.
Ooh.
And that's just the smell of your living room. No thanks. I'm good. I would not.
I mean, a mixture of like Seachem Prime and then like the Gorton's Fisherman, like those two things together is like, oh God, terrible.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm just. I immediately got a visual of the yellow box of the frozen Gorton's Fisherman fish sticks and somebody taking one of those, and I saw the bottle of Chem Prime just being like dabbed on it like a dash of hot sauce.
Oh God. Okay, nope. Did not expect you to go there, but thank you for that.
That was the immediate visual I got.
Oh, I just saw the fisherman, like in his yellow suit, and
it's the Gordon Fisherman.
right, yeah. Ugh. Rivas says, yeah, with a bucket, you know exactly when and where you spill. Yeah, absolutely. I can't argue with that,
true.
right? There's no mystery.
Right. Hey, welcome in, Select Bet. Good to see you. Yeah, not I said have a shop back on standby and fans and dehumidifiers low. Yes. Actually, y'all, I keep a dehumidifier going all the time in my fish room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's gonna be moisture in the fish room at all times, y'all.
You live in Austin. There's plenty of moisture everywhere.
Yeah.
It is.
Not
What is it, 100 degrees now? What'd you say, Mariah?
I said not more than here. The humidity up in Georgia is real.
Oh yes.
Hey, Gina.
Hey, Gina.
Welcome. Hello.
Hey, Gina. Since you're here now, I gotta repeat what I said last night. We love your live stream, so keep doing it.
The humidity right now is 61% at 9:09 in the evening.
That's pretty good there.
Yeah, it's 70 degrees.
And here
At least
it's 81%.
It's 81% there.
Humidity, yep. A little humid, just a little bit.
Oh, and is it 100 degrees outside yet? No.
Today it was 83 today.
No, so not as high as I thought it was, but still, it is only April.
Yeah, that's actually pretty common here in Texas. If it's in the low 80s, upper 80s, 90s, there's usually high humidity. But once it hits that 100-degree weather, the humidity is 20% the average. So I actually enjoy the temperature when it's over 100 degrees versus what we have now.
Because the humidity drops.
Right. The only problem, you gotta have enough water around you, because you can get dehydrated no time at all.
Yeah.
Pass out. Yeah.
Oh, Curtis said tornado warnings there. He needs another beer. Curtis, I hope. Please stay safe. I know that out there where you live, those are no joke. As someone who's lived out in the Midwest, we were quite lucky, but lived in Ohio and Indiana for years, and we would get warnings every once in a while as well. So yeah, be safe.
Carl, for your beta, what temperature do you have it at? Sorry, said my male beta's face, chin, and gills are all black. Is that a breeding coloration thing, or should I be concerned? Developed in the last 2 days. The only time I've ever seen it is from, like, with the black discoloration is from stress or like marbling, maybe, like when they start to develop different coloration. And then temperature, I would say probably bump it up to maybe like 78 slowly. I'd say do it like 2 degrees every hour up to about 78, and that could be okay. I mean, just keep an eye on it, make sure it's not behaving strangely, but I would say bump up the temp just a tiny bit.
Yeah, and it's hard to know depending on how long you've had the beta. I don't know if you've seen it. You've obviously doesn't sound like you've seen this before. I don't know if it's a young betta and maybe just is getting to a point of where it would get
Right.
into like a breeding color. I know they can change color
Right.
for various reasons, so it's hard to say for sure. I do think that there's something to what Mariah is saying related to temperature. I think they tend to like to be a little bit warmer. But if you've kept it like that for quite some time, then I'd have a hard time believing all of a sudden it just decided it didn't like it. Looks similar to how the breeding color shapes look on wild betta, but I don't have a female. Had him for a month-ish. Okay, so not very long. I would
just show marbling for like developing into an adult male beta.
okay.
Just
Yeah.
getting his. To be safe though, I would still raise your temperature just a tiny bit,
Mm-hmm.
just to see if it does change any color or anything like that. Maybe just go like 74, split the difference, see if it does anything different. But if it's not showing any signs of stress or behaving differently or refusing to eat, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, I would say that's right, especially if he's only had it for a month-ish, then it's it's likely continuing to mature, and that may be just the coloration that's going to pick up as an adult. So I'd keep an eye on it. If it seems like it's fine, then that may be just what you're dealing with, and it's normal. So I'm glad that's the case, that you've only had it a short time period, because if you had it for a longer period and it all of a sudden changed, I'd be a little more concerned that something impacted it. But this could just be age.
Yeah.
And the fact that like it's a fairly recent it's been put in the tank fairly recently, so it's also just kind of getting time to adjust to its new environment as well. So it may just be actually showing its real colors now that it's comfortable.
Mm-hmm. I had another one here that I put down on my list related to choosing to keep things that match your level of intervention tolerance.
Ooh.
Right? So the idea, and I know there's wide-ranging opinions on this, but I think it goes back to the idea of keeping fish or other aquatic creatures or plants that you are okay with whatever the care requirements are, right? So, if your water is wildly out of the parameters of a certain type of fish and you don't happen to get them locally, maybe they're wild caught or something like that, they may have some trouble acclimating, maybe, and it could impact their health. If you're not someone who is going to want to adjust to that, or that adds challenge to your enjoyment of your hobby, I think that's one where again you need to be a little bit introspective and kind of think about that. Now again, I think that if you find those types of fish that are locally bred, if they're being kept in your local water, then that may be a non-issue. But there are times where maybe that's not an option, and if they happen to be particularly sensitive and don't adjust as well, you're going to have to be left in the tough decision of do you take the time to adjust your water, or are they a fish that needs a certain cleanliness of water, or that's really preferred, or do they need certain types of foods, right? Are they a type of fish who requires live food? I think there are certain species that are more specific and would require live food or frozen food. They're not interested in flakes and other prepared things. So just being honest with yourself on what are you willing to really do? Where does it go from being enjoyable and liking the fact that you're now entrusted with the care of these animals and it becomes a burden? Because as soon as it becomes a burden in my mind, that's when things start falling apart.
Yes, that's when it becomes stressful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, again, yeah.
It can absolutely become stressful because then you're wrestling with wanting this hobby that enriches your life and interests you and makes you happy, and also the idea of I've got these fish that I need to do these things to keep them well, and how do you reconcile that in your mind? And that's going to be potentially a stress inducing situation.
I like seeing in the chat. Company chairs during live stream reduce stress.
That is true. Ergonomics, very important, Jake.
Yeah.
Or Katie. I don't know which one it was.
You're 7 away from 1,000.
What do those chairs do during a tornado?
Vibes.
Did you hear her? He didn't hear her.
You are 7
away.
1,000.
You are 7 away from 1,000 subscribers.
What?
Vibes.
Really?
This is what Jesse just said.
Yeah.
Wait, 47 away? Wait a second. Yeah, it's not 7. Wait. No, it's not 7.
Yep. Nope. He said he missed the 4. Oops. But still, 47 away from 1,000.
47.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Berto's here.
Hey, welcome in, Gar.
He says to release my stress, I go to the local fish store or go fishing.
Yes.
Nice, nice. Yep.
And now, I haven't talked about it yet, but I do go collecting.
Mm-hmm.
Local collecting. If it's possible, y'all, you have a chance, do it. And a lot of the stuff we mentioned tonight about adapting the fish to your tanks, locally collecting, it makes it a breeze, y'all. You bring the fish home, you temperature acclimate, that's it, done. 99% of the time, the fish will be okay. Now, the worst part is from the time you catch them to the time you get them home. That's the critical part. But once you get them in your tanks, hey, I got proven, y'all, they will breed. And depending on what they are, they might be like rabbits. So.
Oh my God, I was thinking that. Shady says you have sticky keys too. I swear I was thinking that a minute ago, but I didn't say it.
You guys.
Oh, him and Eduardo. Oh God, I could make a comment based on his reply back, but I'm gonna resist the urge. Family friendly.
Woo!
Mariah, take a look at that reply back about being too fast.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Nah. Okay. I'm better now. Thank you.
Good. Welcome back. We missed you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's what happens when we skip a week or two.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I'm being summoned.
What?
Oh.
Not by court or anything like that.
Well, I didn't think
Legal
that.
summons.
No.
My fiance just wants dinner. He's hungry.
Well, tell Cam we just got a few minutes left. Just be patient.
Oh,
fine.
I told him
His fiance is a YouTube co-host star, and we must give the people what they want.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, good night, MNC.
Oh, Hagen.
That's super cute.
That's kind of cute.
That's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
She's a YouTube sensation.
That is true, Riva.
Yeah.
Our Mariah.
I don't know about sensation, but
Yeah, go with it.
I'm on YouTube.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
So, quick question. What
Yeah.
should the hashtag be for tonight? Let's go to next live stream.
Hashtag sticky.
Hashtag sticky keys.
I like it.
Did we just say that at the same time?
We did.
No way!
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag sticky keys.
In usual fashion. We even got vibes going tonight. Look at this. He's losing it. He's losing it. Oh, God. The wheels are really falling off the bus tonight when Vibes is losing it. Mr. Family Friendly there is thinking some funny thoughts.
Vibes is like, the wheels on the bus go round everything. He's like, I'm not thinking nothing, you guys. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Hagen says fishy fingers. Fish fingers. Oh my gosh. Hashtag prime fish stick.
Ooh. Nope. Don't you make yourself throw up on this stream, Mariah. That's too far.
Whoa.
That's the first time.
Okay, nobody say it. Don't nobody
That is
mention fish stick
a
no more.
bridge too far. If we start having stuff like that happen, we've really lost it if that happens.
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh.
What you got, Vibes? You got to pull us out of this one.
No, that wasn't anything, y'all. I'm stumped.
You're stumped.
Yeah.
We're counting on you as our fearless leader here because the two of us are struggling a little.
We on the struggle bus with 4 flat tires
Yeah.
and no insurance.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think we sort of already talked about this, but for me, it's all really about just relaxing, right? We do this hobby because it's relaxing.
I'm sorry. Hagen's comment with Vibes' facial expression right now is perfect. Like I said, vibes is like y'all dug your own hole.
And that was basically exactly we were getting the dad look is what we were getting, Mariah. That was like the I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed look.
I'm disappointed.
I'm not mad at you two. I'm just very disappointed. Is what I took away from that.
Ow.
Uh-huh.
Stop it. That hurts.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, I think I'm good. Whew.
You good now?
Yeah, definitely.
And y'all wonder why Saturday night gets out of control. Well,
Yeah,
that's the weird part, Curtis, right? Is that Mariah and I aren't there to create this kind of havoc. So I don't know. I feel like our friend Vibes here. Maybe Saturday nights it's late enough. It's not a PG show, so he lets loose.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
Maybe.
In case I spill my coffee.
Oh yeah, that relates back to her other comment, which was pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Night Owl said that's definitely the you're pushing it look. Yes. I'm pretty sure that we will have we will have write-ups given to us and put into our Vibes Aquatic personnel files after this one.
Firmest of reprimands.
Yep. We will be after this. Pray for us about this, friends, that after the stream when we're backstage that the reprimand is only firm but fair.
Oh God. Let us pray the punishment meets the crime.
I know. Well, but Mariah, we've been bad. This is not good for us.
Are you naughty?
Petco calls them document. Yeah, we're about to have a very documented conversation backstage.
Very naughty.
Mm-hmm. We'll be on suspension next week. It'll be Vibes by himself.
Oh. Look, in a minute, it's just Vibes on the screen. It'd be like Todd and Smokey here in the stream with audio only.
With audio only, they can't be here. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh
God. Well, do you guys, or does anybody in the chat, do y'all have anything else for us as far as making the hobby less stressful?
I think it's just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy
have a good
it.
laugh.
Have a good. I'll tell you what. We have demonstrated tonight. One of the other things that really makes, and you've already talked about that tonight, Vibes, the community is another way that for me really adds that level of support and camaraderie to my hobby, and definitely helps with the laughs and just the level of engagement that we see with people. I think for me that's another success factor. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Before we head out, Mariah, what you got to say to the community, the Vibe fam?
Well, definitely glad to be back this week with you guys. We definitely missed y'all. Hopefully, we'll be able to stay consistent and we can kind of keep our health issues at bay. That way, we can keep providing you guys with these streams and just hanging out together. And of course, as always, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for having on. And every week I say the same thing, y'all. May God treat you how you treat animals and elders. Treat others how you want to be treated, and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I said it kind of backwards, but y'all know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got you.
Thank you. How about you two, Jay?
Yep. So, like always, guys, thanks so much. Thanks for everybody in the chat hanging with us. My two friends here, thank you guys for the opportunity to have another Thursday night chat. Really enjoyed it. Vibes, sir. Terribly sorry about my behavior. I will think about this and change my ways going forward. So, thanks.
I'm not.
Anyways, thanks everyone for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And those watching replay, I'm sorry I should have mentioned this earlier in the live stream, but hey, we love you. We enjoy you coming by. Hopefully you got some information that you can learn from. Anyways, till later, stay positive. Positive vibes only. Peace out, y'all. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
One more thing.